I'd also like to ask you some questions just outside of this med-flight thing right now. Can you talk about just some reaction right now with ICE and the things that are going on in Minnesota?
This is an area where when I think about what's happening up in Minnesota, look, it's a tragedy anytime someone loses their life. But at the same time, we can't be going into active law enforcement situations. It's time to let cooler and calmer heads prevail. I think that's where people are at across this country right now, and under the leadership of President Trump, we're seeing just that.
He also talks about a proposed bill for Governor Braun that would allow military-style police force at anywhere in Indiana.
That's a state-based bill that, frankly, I haven't even heard of yet because I'm a federally elected office holder, so that's a state-based issue.
That's okay. Can you talk about the possible of the government shutdown, and will you vote in favor of a plan to avert the shutdown by removing DHS funding from the larger bill?
Well, I voted in favor of keeping the government open. We actually, in the House, passed all 12 appropriations bills this year. We were proud to do that. We've sent those bills over to the Senate. So if there's a government shutdown, it would be because of the Senate's either inaction or because the Senate makes changes to the bills that we've sent over there that they would need to send back. So we'll evaluate anything that would come back from the Senate.
Would you say that's why the House adjourned, knowing this was the deadline to avert the shutdown?
We adjourned because we passed all 12 of our appropriations bills. So when you do your work, you go home. So we've done our work. We passed all 12 appropriations bills. We're currently scheduled to go back to Washington on Monday. But at this point in time, there's nothing for us to vote on because we've, number one, passed all 12 of our appropriations bills, and number two, the Senate has yet to take any action and send anything back to us.
Okay, last question for you, sir. The Congress oversight, do you believe Secretary Kristi Noem and/or Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino should be removed from their jobs?
I think those are decisions ultimately up to the president. Every member of the cabinet serves at the pleasure of the president, and so those are ultimately decisions that the president will have to make. What I do know is that the president has heard the American people loud and clear on the direction that they want to go, and he's made some changes up there in Minnesota, and again, he's taken an active role to make sure that calmer heads prevail.